All right, so it's the day after Culture Day in Japan, Tuesday, about noontime, and once again, my trusty R's knife cleared out more of the weeds. Slowly but surely, it's clearing up, and mosquitoes are gone, which is really nice. And forgot to chill the water yesterday, so I've got tomato juice as one of my drinks, and it's a beautiful day, and it's a beautiful canopy. One thing I love about this place is that there's some of interference, quote unquote, as in I wanted a flat surface to walk on. Who doesn't? It's very difficult. These tiles, which are not really aligned there, huh? It was aligned at the beginning, but things shift after many years. Um, to lay them all out, I think it was about 64 tiles in total. Was a gargantuan effort for one person, and but it was done, and I feel proud of it, even if it's as imperfect as it may be. The important thing is that I feel like I did it myself, and for any venture in the world, I think you hire a contractor to do it, you buy someone else's property, that's one thing. But when you do it yourself, there's a certain kind of pride that goes with it. And it's really not about how it stands worldwide in terms of size or quality, but simply that you have an emotional attachment to it. They call it the IKEA effect. When you assemble an IKEA item, you put more value on it than other people see. So the truth is if you want something very nice and personalized, doing it yourself is the only way. Because how else will you express yourself, right? If you buy someone else's property, it will be what they had, unless you renovate it deep, like heavily. Um, and it goes for everything, whether it's food. Um, I cook every day now, and again, the question that was always in my mind was, but does this beat Chef X, who's a YouTuber? That's not the point. The point is no. The answer is no. Obviously, by beat you mean I can make a dish that, if you ask 100 people who would like which one better, of course I'd lose. But that's not the point. The point is that if you make it yourself, you control exactly how you want it. I mean, if you can't do it, it's probably a learning issue or a skill issue or whatever it might be. It doesn't matter. You can pick it up. And the whole learning process, and you save a lot of money too. And you get a lot of like auxiliary skills that go with it. For instance, I don't think I could cut this well if I did not, what is it called? It would be harder for me to cut down all these weeds because cooking with a heavy pot, a wok, strengthens some muscles that make it easier to use your upper arms and stuff like that. So there's all kind of side benefits that come with cooking unoptimized food, quote unquote, as long as you do it yourself, the learning process and all that. But moreover, cooking for me, and even this activity of clearing out the weeds, is a way to engage the physical side of the body, to get away from the digital world. Look at analog stuff all the time. They have to coexist, I think, in a balance. Too much digital stuff and just brain goes absolutely crazy. Okay, like, so it's stocks, video games, programming. These are all very binary digital types of worlds. It's got to have a counterbalance, otherwise, And a lot of thoughts, about like car, like this is the car I have that has not moved. You better get a glimpse of it. Maybe there it is, yeah. And it hasn't moved in like almost a year now. Doesn't The battery's dead. I don't miss it that much, I keep thinking like, okay, I want to get it back, but where would I go? And one thing I don't like is when I step in a car and step out, there's a compression decompression phase, which I can't really explain. It's like it's a marvel of engineering. The car, like it's, I think it's what it's air. It's waterproof. That's insane. Like I believe you can submerge it for like up to 2 meters, and it's okay. It's not hermetically sealed. If you if it goes in like in the ocean, it will flood. But it's like almost waterproof. It's, I don't know how, like it's a marvel of engineering. Ask the AI. I found like, wow, it's like redirecting water in pathways all over the edge of the car. A marvel of engineering, honestly. But the thing is that it's a hunk of steel that can kill people. You can get killed in it too, easily. Road accidents are by far the leading cause of non-medical deaths or whatever it is. It's absolutely insane. Not in Japan. I don't know. I think suicide is higher in Japan. I'm not quite sure. But I don't miss cars. I used to be a car fanatic because I could go anywhere I wanted. But you realize that if you go to like these malls and stuff, what are you really doing there, right? And honestly, like being able to just step out of my own house and sit down any time and just not be hassled by traffic and red lights, and it's wonderful. And if you actually read about how the autonomous driving worked, it's fascinating too that human errors in judgment is the cause of all kinds of deaths, biases. As good of a driver everyone thinks they are, the truth of the matter is it's a human effort that really shouldn't be applied to that sphere. Because if transportation from A to B is the goal, then having your own car and driving yourself around is definitely not the best approach. Um, there's a cool experiment done by, I think, a Japanese researcher that said that if you have a fairly small but circular track and ask like 5 humans to drive a car, they're back to back, and you want them to say maintain equal distance with each other at 30 kilometers per hour, and that's a very slow speed, okay? They can't do it. It will always drift into chaos, and braking starts happening. In other words, human systems cannot, the human brain in a network, quote unquote, cannot even manage the simple task of going around in a circle, 5 cars. It's an experiment. I don't know how I found this out, but it was a journey on the AI with me. And it was fascinating as hell because what does that tell you about? And then if AI was in control, it would be perfect, obviously. The task of having 5 cars going at equal distances around a circle that's in the computer's wheelhouse. That's exactly what it does perfectly well. And therefore, my thought is delegating transportation to a computer is the only logical conclusion. It'll save all kinds of road rage, all kinds of insurance problems, it will disrupt a lot of industries for the betterment of mankind as a whole. Who the hell wants to see their child lost in a car accident? I've seen the news on this before. It is devastating and horrible. Such an act of God would take away human lives in a flash. I know lawyers and insurance companies profit from this, but for the existence of this thing, insurance companies lose money on that event, but because of the fear of it, people need insurance. The point being that, yeah, it kind of turns me away from the idea of driving on the road. Not that I don't want to go out, it's just if I could teleport there. Yeah. And then the other interesting thing was with autonomous driving, there are many strides. And I was surprised to hear that Tesla themselves have not been able to manage stage 4 autonomous driving. I think stage 5 is when it's like fully, you don't have to do anything. So basically, as the stages go up, the responsibility of the driver goes down and down and down. But at a lower stage of autonomous driving, because most of the control still resides with the human is essentially still the master. It still calls the shots. So if an accident occurs, that's not on the AI, that's on you. You are the one using the AI as a tool. But at stage 4, I think it flips over to the AI is now responsible. And at stage 5, I'm not sure. I think at stage 5 is like you have nothing to do with the driving anymore. Like it's like riding a bus. You can't blame a passenger on the bus for an accident. So what's interesting is that Tesla has not even reached, I believe, the stage 4s or whatever in test environments they have. And the thing that I think is the more interesting point though is that stage 3 is the most dangerous, they said, when it's about 50-50. When both the AI and you are both kind of equally responsible for the driving. It's the most unstable and actually is worse than no autonomous driving whatsoever, because there's no conflict. The problem with stage 3 is that as you and the AI are both kind of like handing off responsibilities, you have context drift. When it's your turn to go back to to control, you forget what you were doing and had to let a car go by, huh? You know what's crazy? It's hard to think when cars are zooming by, huh? The sound, and I don't like cars. I don't get rid of mine. I just don't like them overall. Necessity, because we have to go to the supermarket, we have to go to the nursery schools. But do we? I mean, yeah, I guess we do. Too bad we can't walk there, huh? In Japan, they do walk there, which I think is a very good thing to do. I think driving your kids to school every day is bad. I mean, if everyone walked, there'd be no, like, I don't know, no accidents, right? The fear of walking to school is that. But anyway, back to the idea of 50-50 being a bad idea. It is a bad idea because I believe that the Pareto principle, 80-20 and all that, and many things are just lopsided towards 80-20 or 70-30 relationships. 50-50 I think is sometimes inherently unstable for whatever reason. A master slave is always better, I believe, in some way, like, but that's a weird thing I have to explore further. I'm not quite sure myself. So anyway, the accomplishment I made though with all this cutting was now using these weed stalks, the cut down ones, as a platform. It is somewhat stable, although not really, to walk down over this and go out there, which is kind of neato. And I look forward actually to cutting all this down later, slowly. It is a little bit every day, not all at once, because I actually enjoy it, believe it or not. It's great exercise, and I like learning how to do something efficiently. Get older, the one benefit is that you get tired more easily and you don't have as much muscle mass, which means that when you do things wrong, you get punished way more quickly. But that just means you have to find out the right way that much more. You have much more incentive to find out how to do it the right way, because you can't do it any other way, which I find is kind of a nice thing. Being young, you have all these energy and muscle and capability to stay up many like long hours, and so when you get older, because the power output is diminishing, the only counterplay is to be more efficient, and that's how it has to be. So all right, that wraps up today's little review for noon, and I had more to say, but can't pack it all into a big video.